Hello, I am Cy Rodriguez with Things Very Good, and today I am coming to you with a confession. The original confession was quitting weed, my marijuana confession, which was 7 years ago, and I did quit weed. And since then, I made another video about quitting weed and how to do it, and it was definitely my most popular video so far. Which was over 100,000 views. It's obviously not as popular as some, but a very popular video. Bottom line is that in this video where I quit weed, my marijuana confession, I didn't say that I would never do weed again, but I did say that if I used weed again, I would come to you and let you know about it. And so that's what I'm here to do, but there's a twist. The twist is I got high on accident, and there's more to this story, and I think you're going to be interested, and it involves CBD, and we're talking about hemp-derived CBD, the kind that is not supposed to get you high. So first, let me just say really quick, let me just tell you the story, I guess. So, a couple of years ago, I was thinking that I was going to start a CBD company, and I did start a CBD company. While I was starting this company, I was thinking if I'm going to sell CBD, I should know what CBD does, because I had heard lots of good things about just CBD as opposed to THC, and that it could help people with seizures, and it was good on all sorts of levels, including for pain and things like this. But I had never experienced it by itself, although I had gotten high using marijuana in the past. So what I did is I decided I'm going to do an experiment and find out what CBD makes me feel like, and that way I'd be able to talk to people about CBD. So this kind of backfired on me, but what happened is I started off looking at the directions for how much CBD to take, and it said, to take a dropper full. So I started off taking a dropper full, and I even gave my kids some, and everything was fine. I thought maybe I feel some slight effect from the CBD, but I wasn't sure. And I had read a lot about CBD, and one of the things that I had read is that CBD accumulates in your body over time, and that increases the effects of it. So if you take it over time, you're going to get an accumulation of effects. And I also heard that if you don't feel anything, or if it doesn't do enough when you take the first dropper full, then you can increase the dropper full and see if that does it for you. So I decided I'm going to do this. I'm going to increase the dropper full, and after all, I'm not going to have to think about anything except for the effects of the CBD, right? Because this is hemp-derived CBD, not supposed to be able to get you high. So, took a second drop, 2 droppers full in a single day, and felt like, maybe I feel something. And anyway, I proceeded to do this the next day to up it 1 more dropper full. And I think that it was on that day, it might have been the 4th day, so maybe it was 3 droppers, maybe it was 4 droppers. What I do know is that I was just going about my business, doing my normal thing, and all of a sudden, I realized I had this familiar feeling. And the familiar feeling is how I felt when I used to get high. And I thought, oh, this is interesting. The CBD maybe has an effect kind of like being high. But as the day went on, I realized, oh, okay, I'm actually really high. So I got up out of my chair that I was working on, and I went outside, and I stayed outside for most of the rest of the day, and I did have a great time. And truthfully, I have to tell you, because I'm telling you about the situation, and this could mean a lot of things for you if you're a person who has an addictive nature, but I have a very addictive nature. So even though I hadn't been high for, I guess, 5 years, if you go by, this was 7 years ago, it was about 2 years ago that this happened to me. And after I thought, okay, I have this bottle, and I got high a few more times off of this hemp-derived CBD, not supposed to be able to get you high. And I came to the same conclusions I kind of came to when I had quit weed, and that was that I kind of feel alone, and my memory is not as clear, and of course, being around my family, and including my older kids now that had gotten bigger since I originally quit, I felt guilty. And but not just guilty, I just realized that I was kind of in this world where I'm alone, and I have these fantasies about what I can do, but they are really just kind of dreams that are probably not going to happen, because that's what always happened to me when I would get high. I'd have these big dreams, but it was really hard to implement those dreams after I had these ideas when I was high. So that's kind of why I quit before. But the bottom line is I ended up high. And so I had to know why and how. Did this happen? Did this happen to anybody else? So I searched all over YouTube trying to find videos of people talking about CBD and getting high. And a few people had said online, not on YouTube mostly, that they did think that they got high. And everybody tried to tell them that, oh, they weren't really getting high. That's just the feeling, the good feeling from the CBD. I'll say maybe, but I don't think so, because I really believe people can get high off of the hemp-derived CBD, and I'm going to tell you exactly why and how, and I'm also going to tell you why I think you shouldn't do that for more than one reason, but let's just get into it here real quick. So, because I wanted to know, I ended up talking to the person that I had got the CBD from, and they told me, and I started to tell them, like, hey, I was taking more droppers, trying to see the effects of the CBD, and then he said, and then you had realized you were stoned. And I said, yes, that is exactly what happened. He said, yeah, the same thing happened to me. And so the deal was that he hadn't told anybody, because he was concerned, he said, that maybe people who don't, maybe kids might get the idea that they can go find this CBD and then get high off of it. And so that was one of the reasons that he thought that it wouldn't be a good idea to really tell about it. But I'm telling about it because I feel like it's my nature to share truth with people, and this has been something that's been on my mind and on my conscience for a long time. First of all, because I said I'd tell you if I got high. Second of all, because I think people really need to know the truth about CBD, and whatever the costs are, that's okay. So, and I'll tell you how you can guarantee that you won't get high off of CBD too. But here's the deal. I talked to some other people, and I found out that other people who know a lot about CBD and who have experimented with it have experienced the same thing. And so the recommendation from these people is basically, well, don't take more than the recommended amount, which is usually a dropper full, but it probably depends on how many milligrams of CBD are in your particular brand of CBD. And so legally, hemp-derived CBD, there are two kinds, and one of them is a CBD isolate. So if you never want to get high off of CBD, then use the CBD isolate. By the way, it's been 2 years now since I ate that CBD, or since I had that CBD and got high, and I haven't gotten high for 2 years now. Originally, it would be 7 years if I hadn't had this slip up with the CBD. But that being said, I think that a person can use CBD isolate because it's not considered full spectrum. And what that means is that it's just the isolate of the CBD only, specifically CBD, nothing else in it besides coconut oil or MCT oil, whatever the base is. And so that means that you definitely can take more and you won't get high. But there is a belief that the full spectrum CBD that is hemp derived, even though it's only allowed to have up to 0.3% THC, that there's a belief that it can't get you high, but there's also the belief, and it seems to be true, that people who use the full spectrum have better results, meaning all of the what they call terpenes, which include CBD and THC and all of the other things that are in CBD. Those things work together to actually have an effect on you that makes the CBD work better. So that's kind of why people tend to like the the full spectrum hemp-derived CBD. So in order to not get high, you obviously shouldn't take more than the recommended dose. But that being said, what I would also say is, if you're actually looking to get high, you shouldn't be using CBD, because CBD, I should say you shouldn't be using CBD that is hemp-derived, because CBD that is hemp-derived is going to be very expensive for you. So it's really a waste of your money if you're going to use hemp-derived CBD to get high. That being said, you know, I've only heard it from a number of people, and some people have said they've experimented with certain brands and they couldn't get high even if it was a full spectrum. Still don't know the reality about that, but I would say stick to the amount that is recommended, and if you really want to get high, then don't waste your money with hemp-derived CBD. So making this video right now, I'm just standing here telling you this story, and I am feeling that some people are going to probably be upset that I made this video because it could interfere with the CBD business, and it's a very big business. There's a lot of people who are a part of it, but it did interfere with my own CBD business, because even though I had the CBD business, I didn't feel good about just promoting it freely, and as a result I haven't been successful as a CBD business owner, because I knew that if people took enough that they might end up getting high. And I know that some people would never ever want that to happen, and I understand that, and I stand by anybody who doesn't want to have that happen, for sure. And obviously, well, I mean, that's pretty much the story. So I rambled a little bit, I know, and that's my confession. I accidentally got high, but after the accident I did get high a couple or a few more times with that same bottle of CBD, and I haven't done it since then. So that's been about 2 years. But I told you that if I got high, I would tell you, and here I am. So I hope that you appreciated this video. One way or another, I still believe that for a lot of reasons, most people are probably better off not getting high. It's not that I don't like weed, obviously. It's has a very big temptation for me. It calls me sometimes, even though I've been away from it for a long time. But I do think that it can be addictive, and I think that it's especially not good for young people, because it's been shown that people who are younger who do it can not fully develop. They can remain in an emotional state, that they kind of get stuck in an emotional state of a younger person. And I believe that it is also in the literature that it can take off IQ points, meaning that you might not fully develop your intelligence if you do it at an age where you're not fully mature. So that being said, people, do what you want to do. I wanted to let you know about this experience, and please give it a thumbs up if you appreciated it and you liked it, and if you didn't, then give it a thumbs down if you like. But please share my channel, share this video, and subscribe, because the algorithm, as you hear all the time, if you click on my videos, if you comment, then you'll help me to start getting out there, which is something I would like to do more, meaning devote more time to this YouTube channel. So thanks for sharing. If you do, I appreciate it a lot, and thank you for watching, and I will look forward to seeing you in the next video.